Hi everybody and welcome to Discover Merrimack. This is a show about all the hidden treasures that we find in our town. My name is Rosemary Rung and I'm so happy to be here with Tim Souter, who is with the Flying Eagles Club. And Tim, could you just tell us a little bit about the club, what it's about?
Sure. The Southern New Hampshire Flying Eagles is a club from Merrimack. We've been there since I believe we started this field back in 1986, so it goes back quite a ways. I joined the club back in 2009. I'm the current president of the club right now. Our club has grown quite a bit since we started, and our big niche in life is we're one of the few RC clubs that actually flies throughout the winter. So we put our planes on skis and we fly, and we have a big event every late January, February, where we call it the Frozen Fingers Fun Fly.
Oh wow!
And we get members from AMA members or Academy of Model Aeronautics, which is what we're a charter of. People came from Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, all the way up to here just to spend the day with us. It was a huge event. We had cars all over Schuyler Park and all over our own parking lot. Great event. And what our club really promotes is we train people. We like to train new pilots how to fly, and we can use our transmitters. We can connect two transmitters together, so I can let you fly, and then if you get into trouble, I can take back control of the aircraft and teach you how to fly that way, and then you don't crash your aircraft.
Oh, okay.
So it makes a big difference.
Okay, now let's back up a little bit because
Sure.
this is so new to me. So RC is radio controlled?
Correct.
Okay, so people come with a plane and you've brought one here. Is this kind of a typical plane what people have?
This is called a park flyer or a UMX airplane. It's very small. It's not really a good beginner plane. Mm-hmm. But if you want me to bring this one up.
Yeah, bring this one up.
Okay, this is actually a trainer.
Uh-huh.
And this is called the Aero Scout. It's made by Horizon Hobby, and this one is actually very stable, has some stabilization in it, and it's designed so instructor, I'm one of the instructors as well on our club. We have 7 instructors, and I can use this plane to teach you. This is actually one of the trainer planes that we have at the club, and if anybody comes down, they want to see if they have any inkling to fly RC, I'll put you on the buddy box with this airplane and we'll fly it together and you can see what you like. And then if you, once you've flown it a couple times, if you want to get into it, then we expect you to buy your own equipment.
Oh, okay.
But we have all the equipment to get you started and get your first couple flights in, and
so
we
where's
really promote that.
Is it here where the radio signals go?
Right. There's a small little thing in here. We can't really show you, but
oh, okay.
There's a receiver right in here, and that's connected to our transmitter through it's called 2.4 gig. So we can have back in the old days, you had to have a big old antenna, and you could only fly as many people as you had for each one aircraft for one frequency. And if 2 people on the same frequency, one of the planes would crash. Now with this 2.4 gigabyte, we can actually, gigahertz, we can actually fly. We've had 14 aircraft in the air at one time.
Oh wow!
So it's a huge improvement. And this airplane's so stable and so rugged that we can fly this anywhere. So this is one of the aircraft we actually recommend.
Oh, okay.
And so if you come down, we'll let you fly the plane. If you want to get into it, we'll recommend the aircraft you want to buy. I recommend the transmitter, the actual thing you hold in your hand to
because it looks like a video game console thing.
It kind of does, yes, it does. It does. And we can set you up with that and give you an idea. Back in the old days, you had to spend 2 to 3, 5, 6 months building your aircraft. Now you can get this in the box. I can have this plane flying out of the box and flying within about 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But this is kind of unique. Most of the planes take a little bit longer than that. Almost rated flyers, it'll take about 30 to 40 hours to put it up.
So how many people are in your club?
Right now, our membership is, by the middle of summer is when most people join. We had 87 people
87?
This, last year, yeah.
Do you all meet at Schuyler Park?
Yep. That's the only club place we have.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and we have a picture of what it looks like.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
awesome.
And we'll show it because I was walking Schuyler Park. You know, it's a new park for a town park, and I went by the field, and it's so cool. It's like a little miniature airport. It has a runway. There it is. It's It's
There you
pretty
go.
nice. And so you said you guys meet every week, even in the winter?
Even in the winter, we guarantee we'll have an instructor every Sunday. Our membership for the last 2 years, 3 years has been very, very active. We'll have 15 to 20 cars in the parking lot
Okay.
every Sunday. We usually start arriving at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we'll be there till about 1:30, 2
Oh,
o'clock.
wow. Okay, so 8:30 to about 8:30 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon.
Correct. And then
Great.
on after daylight savings time, a lot of us come down there on Tuesdays after work. So about 4:35, we'll show up there and we'll fly until sunset.
So anybody can go. If they're interested, they could just go Sunday
We encourage
morning.
you, if you have any inkling at all to fly RC or learn how to, this will actually teach you how to fly regular or full-scale airplanes. And we recommend you come on down. We'll let you give you a little taste of it. Like I said, you'll fly this airplane and see if you enjoy it. And if you do, we'll set you up. And
okay.
we will, there's no cost for instruction. You do have to join the club once you commit to it. It's $65 annually, and then for your initial joining, it's $25.
That's
You have to be a
very-
member of the AMA. That's $70 a year.
Now tell me about the AMA. What's that?
That's the Academy of Model Aeronautics. It's based out of Muncie, Indiana, and they actually they're the ones that kind of guide us on how to instruct. We have a lot of rules we have to follow to be a chartered airport for them. But the nice thing about that is not only do we get support from them with the federal government, because there's a lot of, I don't know if you heard about all the RC stuff and radio-controlled drones and things, and the government's trying to crack down. They're kind of infringing on our hobby a little bit here. But the AMA is kind of supporting us and giving us the rights to continue to fly. But they also, the biggest thing is they provide insurance. So while we're down at Schuyler Park or anywhere, if we crash and damage someone's car, then they're covered.
Okay.
You're covered as a pilot with
Oh,
them.
that's great. So do people just do planes, or do they do like drones?
There are some drones. To be honest, drones are kind of boring because they fly themselves. These, if you let go of the sticks, it's going to crash.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
the biggest difference. We do fly helicopters. We have little small helicopters all the way up to 90 millimeter helicopters, which are really, or 900 millimeter helicopters, which are really big, very powerful. We just started a control line last year, so we're promoting control line at our field where you have the strings connected to the airplane and you just fly it around in a circle.
So you have strings, so you don't use the.
You don't use the controls.
Oh, you just use this. How does it get up in the air?
So that a lot of them have electric power or nitro power. They call them nitro engines. And in those, it just the only control you have is the elevator here, so that'll make it go up and down. You can't go left or right or what have you. This aircraft, because it's radio control, we can go up, down, left, right, and it flies just like any full-scale plane.
So how long does it take somebody, if let's say I want to do this, so I show up Sunday morning, and you're teaching me how to use. I'm using a borrowed plane. How long does it usually take for someone to be able to do it all on their own?
That's all up to you and how much you want to practice. There's a simulator for this hobby. You can get one of those simulators that'll greatly reduce the amount of time I spent buddy boxing. I've had people I've checked out in 5 or 6 visits. Other ones the older we are, the more difficult it is. I think the younger generation, with the Xboxes and all that, they adapt to it much quicker than we do. And I've had people that took me a year to check them out, but they enjoyed it so much, they kept coming back, and they were so happy when I finally signed them off as a solo pilot, and they could do it by themselves. So.
Well, it sounds like a great family activity too. I mean, do you have a lot of children? How young do somebody go?
It's funny you should mention that. We have a new member. He came from Seattle. He was part of a youth program, and it really got him into aviation. And he's a JetBlue pilot now, so it's kind of exciting.
Wow.
And he came to us from Seattle as a JetBlue pilot, and he's actually setting up a youth program. Right now we have, I believe he said, 9 members. I'm going to kind of let him run that on his own, but 9 members. So we do want younger people, because we've had one of our members that joined. He was 14 years old. He joined the same year as I did, and now he's an engineer for Pratt & Whitney, I think it is. and
So
we
how
used to work for
young?
Gulfstream.
How young can they go?
Legally, you can go as young as you want. I've had the best results from about 11 years old and older.
Okay.
I've had a couple of kids that were 8 years old that I was able to teach, but their attention span's kind of limited.
Okay. So like a 10 or 11-year-old boy or girl that
Boy or
was
girl,
interested,
yeah.
they could go down, learn this. I think that would be awesome. They're still getting their little fix with their
Yes, they are.
handheld controller, but
That's right.
they can actually see what.
Yeah, and the results are there. You can see the wind affects it and how that kind of neat things happen. So it's I find it very exciting. I love to teach, and like I said, we have 7 instructors at the field. If you want to fly on a different day other than Sunday or Tuesdays, just give us a call, and one of the instructors will try and meet you and work with you.
Now, tell me about like what's the range of these planes? Like how far can they go? Because are you restricted in the airspace you're allowed to fly?
Well, right now, because of the new rules with the FAA, we are restricted anywhere you fly. They call it Class G airspace, where it's uncontrolled airspace, so away from Manchester, away from Nashua Airport. You can go up to 400 feet.
Okay.
At our field here in Merrimack, we can fly up to 400 feet, but we have a letter agreement with Nashua Airport, which is, we're in their airspace, to fly up to 400 feet, and we're allowed to fly up to 1,400 feet away from ourselves.
Oh, okay.
And so we have that in a letter of agreement between us and Nashua Tower. The actual physical abilities of the aircraft is, I'm told they'll go at least 5 miles, but with these aircraft, unless you have FPV or first-person view, you have to be able to see these. Like I said, if you don't see it, it's going to crash.
Yeah.
So you have to keep it in visual range. They call it visual range.
Okay.
And if you lose visual range, so 2 miles, this plane's getting pretty small in the sky. So
Yeah,
you have to,
I would think
you want to bring
so.
it back. So.
And you've got the runway, so you do they have to take all the runway to get up in the air, like a plane this size?
No, actually, this plane will get airborne in no time. The reason we put in the runway is not for the larger airplanes. It's actually for planes like this, because of the little itty bitty wheels on this thing. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It catches in the grass, and you can't land. You can't take off.
Yeah.
You can't, what they call touch and go, where you land and then take off again.
Okay.
It wouldn't allow it. So we put in this runway back in 2007, and it made a huge difference. And that's where we really started pushing instruction, because we could start flying these little planes, and the trainers that have a little challenge on the grass.
You know, Tim, I love your passion for this. It's so obvious. How did you get into this? Have you always been into aeronautics and planes?
I have. My grandfather, growing up, he had an airplane my whole life, and I did a little bit of RC back in the 70s, back when you had the big old long antenna. You could only fly one plane at a time. But back then it was much, much more expensive, and I couldn't keep it going. Then I went in the Air Force. I became an air traffic controller, and through the Air Force I got my pilot's license, so I love to fly. Actually, I was able to take my grandfather up for a flight before he passed away.
Nice.
Yeah, that was super exciting. But then I kind of got into that, and then the full-scale planes, it takes a lot of time and effort. And my next-door neighbor, we kind of hung out a lot, and we started doing these little helicopters, got into that, and decided, hey, maybe we ought to do airplanes. So we joined this club down here in Merrimack, and it's grown from there. Like I said, our membership's grown from, when I first joined, we were about 45 to 50 members. And as soon as we put that runway in, we went over 102 members.
Wow.
But then everything peeled back. There used to be a huge hobby shop down in Nashua called RC Buyers Warehouse, and that really, they drew a lot of people into the hobby for us, and they come to our field, and they recommended us because we're one of the few fields that we do a lot of instruction. Matter of fact, that's our forte. And so that's how we kind of got started, and that's how we are now. And I've been an officer since, I don't remember, 2011.
Well, you know, it's amazing because you said it began in 1986, right? And that's, what, 36 years ago, 37 years ago.
Yeah,
So.
we actually have one member that was here back when they
really?
originally put the airfield in down there. So.
Now, how many do you find show up every Sunday?
Last Sunday, it was beautiful weather,
Really?
gorgeous weather, and I'm guessing we had about 30 cars in our parking lot.
Oh, wow.
They're actually parking on the Schuyler Park parking lot area.
And you talked earlier about the winter event that you had,
Yes.
and actually there's another picture we have of it looks like it was taken at a beach with
Yep.
planes. There it is there.
Oh,
now,
there you go.
where was this taken at?
So our club actually sponsors 3 huge events. One's the Frozen Finger Fun Fly,
Oh, yeah.
which is in February, early February. It's the weekend between the NFL playoff,
Oh, okay.
and the Super Bowl, so it's free for us. And so we have that every year, and we've done that for 27 years. But the float fly, we call it, is held at Greenfield State Park. Our club here in Merrimack sponsors that. It's a 3-day event. People bring their campers down there. People come from Connecticut, New York, all over the Northeast to come to that event, and we fly it for 3 days straight, and it's a huge, very fun event. And then the third one is we started 2 years ago. The AMA started publishing, what do you call it?
That's okay.
Anyhow, it's kind of to promote the AMA throughout the United States. And this club being very supportive of the AMA, we started, it's like a family day, but we also promote it to the public to try and get the public to come down. And we have 3 of these aircraft going at one time with 3 different instructors, with just people walking off the street, coming on down and see if they enjoy it.
Oh, I bet that's
We have
cool.
simulators, we have computers with simulators down at the field in Merrimack, and allow them to kind of practice before they get in the air and fly this thing. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it sounds like that. Now, can people build their own?
As a matter of fact, you can, and it's kind of a dying hobby, but it's starting to grow again. But we have 2 members that do immaculate work. They literally, and back in the old days, it was plywood and balsa wood, and then they cover it with coverings. And we have 2 members that do that. They
Wow.
do a project every winter. One guy built a Beechcraft Bonanza, and it has the rivets and everything.
Really?
It's
so it's a model
fantastic.
of an actual plane.
It's a model of an actual
okay.
plane. It's actually built for another member in the club. He kind of financed it, but the builder actually built it for him, and it was an exact replica of the Bonanza that this gentleman owned back in the 80s.
Wow.
And it's fantastic. It's impressive to see.
And I bet people build them too, just maybe like experimental designs to
Yep.
see if they can change the characteristics of the flight because of the
We get a
shape.
lot of kids like that. The gentleman well, he's a gentleman now, but the young kid that joined back when I did, he went to Embry-Riddle, but before that, he was building his own planes.
Wow.
And another young man, he was joined a club, and he was doing all kinds of neat stuff. Now he's taking engineering at Southern New Hampshire, or not Southern New Hampshire, but UNH, and he's going to and he joined the Air National Guard, and he's an engineer, or a mechanic on the new KC-46 over at Pease. So it just, this really promotes, that's why we really want to get the youth program going.
Yeah, I
'cause
think
really,
it's a great idea. Well, plus it provides a learning opportunity they're not going to really get in school.
Nope.
And they can really apply it, and it's a hobby, a pastime, and it leads to careers too.
Yeah.
Now, when you're flying, when you've got all these people at the field and you're flying, I mean, do they ever crash into each other?
We just had one at the Frozen Fingers event, and ironically, it was a plywood and stick-built airplane,
Ooh.
and a styrofoam plane slightly larger than this. They collided, and the styrofoam plane kept flying. The stick plane came down in pieces.
Really?
It was impressive. You would think it'd be the other way around, but
Yeah.
these styrofoam planes are pretty resilient.
Yeah,
and
no,
they're very easy to repair if you break them.
And so how many hours a week do you spend between, I mean, is there a lot of time you spend outside of the Saturday mornings and the Tuesdays?
Well, as the president, yes, but as a normal member, no. You can. How it will work is if you come down, you buy your own equipment. We teach you how to fly. We sign you off under the AMA saying that you're safe to fly.
Okay.
And once you get that, you can fly at that field whenever you want to. Like I said, we're one of the few fields that's year-round.
So you actually, when you instruct someone how to do this, they actually get like a certificate that they've completed like RC pilot training?
We don't actually give a certificate. It's just word of mouth, and we put it on our website.
Oh, okay,
And
that they're
so
trained.
everybody knows.
Tim, this has been great, and
fantastic.
I can't wait to get the word out because I can think of a lot of kids right now who would be really into this.
Yeah.
What if they want to get more information? What's the best way for them to reach out?
Well, if you go to our website, it's snhflyingeagles.org, make sure .org. A lot of people put .com in there.
Okay.
So it's snhflyingeagles.org,
Okay.
and you'll get on our website, or we have a Facebook page by the Southern New Hampshire Flying Eagles. And a lot of people throughout the world actually go on that webpage because we have build videos. We actually I got contacted right before I came in here by the Veterans Affairs. A gentleman there wants to bring some veterans down to our field and let them see it, watch it, and hopefully we'll get them up on buddy boxes.
In fact, we've got our last picture. We've got a picture of the club. So
it's
all of you guys, there you are with
that's
all
our
the planes.
That's our impromptu event. Every year on the first day of the year, January 1st, we all meet up, and obviously there wasn't snow this year, but you can see how many aircraft we had out that day and how many cars we had.
And look at some are pretty big too.
Yeah, my biggest plane has the wingspan's over 10 feet. So
oh wow,
it's big.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining and sharing with us information and your passion for the Flying Eagles Club. And I want to thank you for joining. Again, if you want more information, you can go to their website, which is snhflyingeagles.org.
Nice.
Or go to their Facebook, Southern New Hampshire Flying Eagles Club, or contact me or Merrimack TV, and we can get the information to you. But I want to thank you so much, Tim,
You're very welcome.
for coming and for bringing your planes. This is really exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.